Gona ke sekgowa.
And we are squatting on
Ke bue sekgowa.
as much as possible. Hey, the worst struggle I think is something, but we are squatting.
Okay.
Right.
Dale.
So this is episode 1, Gan.
Imagine.
Okay, so welcome to episode 1 of my podcast, Boys Don't Cry. My name is Lucid, and this is my first guest. Introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Yawane Kwekwe. Yeah, I'm here to help Lucid with this podcast.
See, that wasn't difficult. Well, you nailed it. That's fine. Okay, so I have 3 questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
And all 3 questions have sort of follow-up questions, but depending on how you answer the main questions, right?
Alright.
And yeah, so the name of the podcast is Boys Don't Cry. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you heard the or phrase or whatever, Boys Don't Cry?
The first thing that came to my mind,
Yeah.
like, why is it that boys don't cry? Or why is it weird that boys can cry? I mean, we're all women, so I don't get why there's even that phrase that boys don't cry or men shouldn't cry, because we're all human beings at the end of the day, and we have emotions too. So we feel like any other human being can feel. So the first thing that came to mind was why it even exists in the first place.
Why do you think I call the podcast Boys Don't Cry?
Why I think you called it that? I think it's because of the stereotype that men shouldn't cry, like men are tough, boys are raised to be, I don't know, I think it's like we don't have feelings or whatever, or if you cry you come out to be weak. So I think you called it that because you want to break that stereotype about boys shouldn't cry. I mean, I think you are trying to make it okay for boys to cry, for boys to feel. That's what I think.
Okay. All right. So, okay, I feel like that's okay. The second question is something that is going to be a bit more difficult for you to answer, but I feel like just feel free if you don't want to answer it, which I hope is not the case.
Alright. You're already pressuring me.
I'm sorry, you don't have to. But I'm asking this question because okay, I'm going to say this so that you feel a little bit more at ease answering the question. I think you know when was the last time I cried.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
So on that day when that happened, I think it's obvious that it was tears of joy. It wasn't necessarily tears of somebody who was under stress or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I realized that the last time I cried before that was, I think, maybe 3 years ago. And that time I was crying because I was overwhelmed. And I think it was by anger, because it was when me and my dad had an altercation that almost went physical, I think. But the thing about it is, I realized that within that space, there were so many times I wanted to cry, and I don't know how else to describe it except for saying I wanted to cry because I think I felt sad. But it didn't happen. I didn't know how to just let it happen, if I needed to do something to make sure it happens, if I needed like an aid of some sort.
Yeah.
So the next question, and feel free to answer this any way that you want to ask, but is, when was the last time you cried? And when that happened, why were you crying?
Let me think about it.
Okay.
It wasn't like a long time ago. I don't know if it was 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks ago. And I wasn't crying because I was sad. I don't know, I wasn't sad. Yeah. but I think it was 3 weeks ago, and I was like, and I was telling someone about something that I've been feeling, and I think I'd kept it in for a long time. So when I told them how I felt, it was like, I don't know, I just saw tears rolling down. So I guess I wasn't sad though. It wasn't like a sad story or anything. So I don't know if it was tears of joy also. But yeah. And before that, I think it was December, and that was sad tears because there was something going on with my mom and the family. So it wasn't, it was something sad. So yeah, that was the last 2 times that I recall crying. Yeah, I cry a lot these days. I allow myself to cry because like you said, I've been trying to avoid situations where I feel like I have to cry, because I thought I had this thing in my head that crying is weak. Crying proves that you are weak, or I don't know. I didn't want to be vulnerable, so yeah. But these days I just allow myself to cry if I need to.
Why do you think you allow yourself to be vulnerable?
Why do I allow myself to be vulnerable?
Yeah, because people always say it's okay to be vulnerable, it's okay to cry. But why do you think that's the case? Why do you think it's okay to?
For me, it feels, because allowing yourself to be vulnerable allows you to get help, allows you to release emotion. For me, so I don't know about other people, but for me, when I'm vulnerable, I'm able to, in a way, like let go of the heavy burden on my shoulders, because I'm just showing whoever or myself that it's too much for me here. So it allows me to get help if I need help. Yeah.
So you found that crying or allowing yourself to be in that vulnerable position has helped you in the ways you just mentioned. It allows you to find help. It allows you to let those burdens.
Yeah, and also it allows me to like deal with stuff, because most of the time when you say, or when you don't acknowledge that you need help, you don't necessarily deal with whatever was bothering you at the time. That's for me. And I feel like after like admitting to myself that I need help here, it kind of eases things up for me. So because I can also talk to other people, and say, hey, I need help here, or this is bothering me. So yeah, it makes things easier for me to be vulnerable. I mean, I don't just be vulnerable in jail because you can be vulnerable, but in situations where you feel like in situations where I feel like if I don't, I'm going to hit rock bottom here. So that's when I let myself feel whatever and accept that I need help.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you mind sharing an instance where you did allow yourself to be in that position and you feel like it really did help with whatever situation you're going through?
Let me try and find a situation. Let me try and find a situation where like it's not. So yeah. Whoa. Okay, so there was a time last year after the first lockdown. There was a time where like things went really proper with my mom and her mom, and like just the extended family was just having like a conflict nyana, and that was bothering me because my mom like was talking to me about, hey, this is what's happening and whatever. I'm not going to get into detail, but like that was bothering me for some time. And there was a time we were coming from protest. We were coming from a workout session with Tato, and I was driving in, and he asked me how he could see that I'm not okay. And when we parked here, he asked me, man, are you okay? And for the first time that time, ever since I knew him, I didn't think twice of saying, because other times I would say, yeah, I'm sharp, I'm just tired, just to brush it off. But that time I told him that, hey man, there's something that's been bothering me for a long time, and I told him the whole thing, and I could feel my eyes tearing up, but it was dark, ne? So we're in the car, it was dark, and you couldn't even see that I almost cried. Or I hope he didn't see. But yeah, I just told him the whole thing, what's going on with me or my family. And after that, he gave words of encouragement, as he always does, and I felt better. And I was like, what if I kept this from him? What if I said, nah, I'm sharp? I was going to go to bed and still think about or carry that burden. So yeah, that's the incident that I can give. The others are just too much.
Nah, it's cool. I appreciate you sharing something that you felt like was a bit personal.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you one more question. And before you answer this question, I need you to consider everything we've talked about right now. Everything you've shared, everything you're not willing to share. Like, think about those things before answering the question, right? Because I feel like you gave a very generic answer when I asked you the first time why, like what you thought about when you heard the name of my podcast. But what do you think about the phrase "boys don't cry" now after our conversation?
Boys don't cry. What do I think about the phrase?
You considering what you told me, considering the fact that there are things you're not willing to share in the public, considering that there are things that you are willing to share because they've, I guess, been resolved as a result of your vulnerability, whatever you want to consider, but consider our conversation right now.
I have to give out my thoughts of the phrase.
Yeah.
Boys don't cry. So I think I'm still like with boys should cry, like, because I feel like it's just ridiculous that the boys don't cry. I don't know, maybe I'm just not understanding it the way, I don't know, the way other people understand it, or the way maybe you are, the meaning you've put to the title but for me, I just feel like it's just I don't know if it's okay to say, but I feel like it's ridiculous that boys don't cry.
Okay.
Yeah, I it's okay, man. I feel like it's okay to cry, because we are being made to made to think that it's ridiculous or it's wrong to cry, but it's just something that's there, something that's there. So I'm still with
on the wagon, our boys should get.
Yeah.
So if you feel that, why did you feel when you and Tato had that conversation? Did you, like you just said, you hoped he hadn't seen or whatever? Did you feel like that because it was before you felt the way you feel now, or you just didn't want him to see you like that?
I was still like in the process of, because I was still in the process of trying to tell myself that it's okay to cry. So that's why I wasn't comfortable with, or that's why I was hoping, not comfortable. That's why I was hoping that maybe he didn't see me like that. But I know that he's not the type of person to come out and judge me that I cried.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's just that, like, the thing that's been wired in our heads, that thing that like that, you know, there are things that are like already wired in our head, and even after you've learned something new that you, or after you've realized that okay, this is not the way, you still think about it, you know, like things like paying for a date when you're on a date. You know that as a guy you have to pay, and you're going to feel some type of way if the girl is like, oh no, I got this. Like,
Speak for yourself.
no, no, I'm saying like generally,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
something that's wired
Or
in
that's
our,
been taught.
yeah, that's been, you know,
Okay, yeah.
we as guys, we generally
have to.
feel like we have to,
Okay, I
but
feel
we,
you.
okay, now that's what I think, not, I don't think we have to.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So now there are situations where guys feel uncomfortable when the thing that they think they know or is the right thing doesn't happen. Like when a girl says, "No, I'll pay for your transport. I'll pay for your food. Whatever. I got this. You don't have to."
I get you.
And it makes you think like, what? You know. And those are the things that I had to like make myself okay with. So that's why I'm saying, Hori, it's something that's there at the back of my mind, Hori. If someone sees me cry, they might think that, you know, this guy, because I'm still in the process. I'm not, you know, there yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I feel you? All right. I think I'm done. I don't have any more questions, but if there's anything you'd like to say, anything you'd like to add, now's the time.
I think
Even if it's just like words of encouragement or anything.
niggas should cry, dog.
Let niggas cry.
Yeah, let niggas cry. Like it makes a big difference. And don't judge them. You know, this thing of saying it shows that you are weak, I think it's just complete crap. But yeah, niggas should cry. I think it's just it starts with accepting that you need help. Maybe not in the first stage to anyone, but to yourself. Or actually, here I'm stuck, I need help, or I need someone to talk to. Yeah, that's that, man.
Okay. Thank you for your honesty.
You're welcome,
Thank
sir.
you for your time.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you for whoever was listening / watching. I hope you found some type of value from this, and I hope you will join us for next week's episode. I don't even have a proper intro, bruh. An outro.